Flyvault.net presents Where the River Bends, a fly fishing short story, and now, Where the River Bends, born Rodolfo. Alfonso Raffaello, Pier Filiberto Guglielme di Valentina d'Antonguola on May 6, 1895, in Castellaneta, Italy, was the son of an army officer and received his education at a military school. Despite aspiring for a military career, he was denied. He briefly lived in Paris before immigrating to the US via Ellis Island in 1913. By 1917, he transitioned into dancing and eventually found himself in San Francisco before making his way to Hollywood. Adopting the stage name Rudolph Valentino, he rose to fame in 1921 with his role as Julio in The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, becoming a prominent screen idol and a symbol of allure. Tragically, Valentino passed away unexpectedly at the age of 31, and while there are varied accounts of his death, Esquire magazine published a story suggesting foul play involving a bartender. Gregory Clark, born on September 25, 1892, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, was a newspaper journalist for the Toronto Star, inspired by his father's career. Despite struggling in his initial years at university, he joined his father, Joseph Clark, as an editor at the Star. Clark dedicated 36 years to the paper, interrupted by a 3-year hiatus, serving in World War I with the Canadian Mounted Rifles, rising to the rank of Major and earning the Military Cross for gallantry at Vimy Ridge. Upon his return, he resumed his role at the Toronto Star, emerging as one of its top reporters. Notably, he collaborated with a young outdoors enthusiast and familiar name Ernest Hemingway. Greg, an enthusiastic sportsman, had a fondness for fly fishing and various outdoor pursuits. During that era, a particularly popular fly across North America was called the assassin, a term coined by Greg's friend and writer John Alden Knight. Notably, John was known for inventing the Solunar tables used for predicting optimal hunting and fishing times. However, the assassin was actually an earlier creation from the late 19th century, conceived, developed and tied by Charles Langevin. Interestingly, Charles later named it the Langevin after himself. This fly earned a reputation as the deadliest of its time, boasting impressive catch rates across various fish species in Canada and the United States from the late 19th century through the early 20th century and well beyond. Its design didn't aim to mimic any specific prey. In 1937, John Alden Knight penned an article about the fly in the popular publication Hunting and Fishing, leading to approximately 500,000 sales of the pattern at a New York show that year. However, it was Gregory Clark who forever named the fly. He drew inspiration from an article he had read, linking a Hollywood icon's suspected death due to a toxic drink created by a cunning bartender at the Lone Star Saloon in Chicago during the 19th century. This fly remained immensely popular for over a century, receiving recognition from the Canadian government in 1998 and 2005, when it was featured on a 50-cent stamp twice. Interestingly, the original name bestowed upon it by its creator, Charles Langevin, was the red and yellow bucktail. A dirty drink was named after that bartender, and in 1936, a fly was also christened with the same name, the Mickey Fin. And now you've heard a long-lost story from a tyer's bench, and one you can share with your friends when you meet them where the river bends. Bob from the tire shop got into a brief altercation with your subscribe button after he attempted to kidnap Bob. When he came to after being punched in the nose, he said he just wanted to go bobsledding. I have only one thought: Google. Take care, my friends. And as always, happy tying.